If you've ever worked the night shift at Target, you know how different the store feels after closing. The doors lock, the lights dim, the last customer leaves. But sometimes, something else stays behind. These are 5 true Target night shift horror stories from employees who realized they weren't alone. The first story happened in Illinois in 2024. I worked overnight stocking at a Target just outside Chicago. My shift was from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. After midnight, the store felt hollow. Every footstep echoed. Every small sound felt amplified. On to 45 a.m. I was restocking toys near the back wall. The security TVs above electronics were visible from where I stood. I wasn't really paying attention until I noticed movement on one of the screens. It was the seasonal owl. No one was scheduled over there. I stared at the monitor. A tall figure walked slowly across the aisle, then stopped directly in front of the camera. I assumed it was another employee, but something felt off. The figure wasn't pushing a cart, wasn't carrying anything, just standing there, completely still. I radioed my coworker. "Hey, are you in seasonal?" "No, I'm in grocery." I checked the employee schedule on my phone. Only 4 of us were clocked in, and all 4 responded on the radio. I looked back at the monitor. The figure was gone. I walked toward seasonal with my flashlight on. The aisle was empty. No carts, no fallen items, nothing disturbed. I asked the closing manager to check footage the next morning. The weird part, on recorded footage, the aisle was completely empty. No figure. But at 2:47 a.m., I'm seen staring up at the monitor, frozen, and whispering something. The audio didn't record what I said, but I don't remember whispering anything. I quit 3 nights later because at exactly 2:47 a.m. again, the seasonal owl camera went static. Only that camera. The second story comes from Arizona. I worked night security at a Target in Phoenix. My job was simple. Patrol the store every hour. Check emergency exits. Watch the cameras. At 3:12 a.m., motion detection triggered in the back storage hallway. That hallway is employee only. I assumed someone forgot to clock out and was still back there. I walked down the hallway slowly. The lights flickered slightly overhead. Halfway down, I heard it. One of the emergency exit doors slowly closing. I picked up my pace. When I reached the end of the hall, the exit door was slightly open, about 2 inches. The alarm hadn't triggered, which is impossible. Those doors are armed after 11 p.m. I pulled it open and stepped outside. The parking lot was empty, completely silent. When I stepped back inside, I froze. At the far end of the hallway, someone was standing there. Tall, facing me, but their head was tilted at an unnatural angle. I blinked, the lights flickered again, and they were gone. The next morning, I checked footage. At 3:12 a.m., motion detection triggered, but no one appears on camera, except me, standing alone at the end of the hallway, facing nothing. 2 weeks later, another guard quit, said he saw someone standing by that same exit door at exactly 3:12 a.m. Head tilted, not moving. The third story happened in Florida. I worked overnight in fulfillment, packing online orders. At around 2:30 a.m., I was scanning items in the beauty section when my handheld device lost connection. The Wi-Fi symbol disappeared. At the same time, the overhead music cut out. Total silence. Then I heard footsteps. Slow. Measured. Walking parallel to me on the other side of the aisle. I stopped moving. The footsteps stopped too. I stepped forward. The footsteps matched me. Step for step. I turned the corner quickly. No one there. I tried laughing it off, until I noticed something on the shelf behind me. Every item I had just scanned was turned backward, facing the wall, one by one, perfectly aligned. I hadn't touched them like that. I radioed my coworker. No response. The radios were dead. Every single one. When connection came back 5 minutes later, everything was normal. Except one thing. Security footage showed me standing alone in beauty. But behind me, for a single frame, there's a dark shape standing directly at my back. So close it looks like it's breathing on my neck. I gave my 2 weeks notice the next day. The fourth story comes from Ohio. I worked guest services overnight during holiday season. One night around 3 a.m., the phone at the empty front desk rang. That line doesn't receive outside calls after closing. I let it ring twice. Then picked up, silence. Just faint static. Then, very quietly, I heard breathing.slow.com. I said, "Hello," the breathing stopped. Then a whisper. "You're still there." The line went dead. I checked caller ID logs. No incoming call recorded. 10 minutes later, the phone rang again. This time I didn't answer. I looked up at the security monitor instead and saw myself standing behind the desk, holding the phone to my ear, but I wasn't holding it. In the camera feed, my head slowly turns toward the lens, smiling. I wasn't smiling in real life. When I looked up from the monitor, the feed went black. I walked out mid-shift. Never went back. The fifth and final story happened in California. I worked overnight remodel. We were rearranging aisles and moving entire sections. The store felt like a maze. At 2:59 a.m., all the lights in grocery flickered off for exactly 3 seconds. When they came back on, every shopping cart in the store was lined up in the center aisle, perfectly straight. Dozens of them. No one had touched them. We all just stared. That's when we heard it. A cartwheel spinning slowly. Somewhere behind us. We turned around. At the far end of the main aisle, one cart was moving. By itself. Rolling slowly toward us. No slope. No push. Just rolling. It stopped about 10 feet away. And tipped over on its own. The next morning, corporate reviewed footage. At 3 a.m., cameras show all of us standing frozen in the aisle. But there are no carts. None. Just empty space. Target closes every night. The doors lock. The cameras record. Employees clock in and out. But sometimes, the footage doesn't match what they saw. And sometimes, it shows things they don't remember doing. If you've ever worked a night shift in retail and felt like someone was walking just behind you, maybe you weren't imagining it. Which story scared you the most? Comment below.